Welcome to the 2020 Brewtubers Online Brewers Club Yeast Experiment. Brought to you by our proud sponsors. Woody's Homebrew Store. Use code BREWTUBERS for 10% off your entire order and get free shipping on any order over $58. Go to www.woodyshomebrew.com. Imperial Yeast, a half stainless steel mash panel sponsor of the Brewtubers Online Brewers Club, an official yeast provider of the Yeast Experiment. Imperial Yeast offers brewers of all sizes access to world-class yeast and the best possible customer and technical support. Be sure to grab a pack or two now at your local homebrew shop or Woody's Homebrew. And lastly, Hopsteiner, the official hops provider of the 2020 Yeast Experiment. Get brewing.
Hey guys, Matt here at Brewery. This is going to be the review videos for the Yeast Experiment 2020 from Brewtubers. I think I've decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to compile all these into one big video. So this is going to be the first one, and I thought it would be appropriate to talk about a couple of things in this first one, just as a baseline. I can only go off of, for now, in comparison to the beer that I have, so I know what the base style of beer tastes like before I went into the yeast, and I know what my yeast brought to the table. The basic recipe that we all started with was a traditional West Coast IPA, middle of the road, balanced profile in the water, so that nothing was accentuating necessarily the hops or the grains. This was all to try to showcase the yeast. So the recipe, as I did it for my system, ended up being 12 pounds of 2-row, 8 ounces of honey malt, 8 ounces of Crystal 40, 4 ounces of carapils, and then a couple of ounces of acidulated malt to bring the pH down to what it was supposed to be for this beer. The water profile that we all kind of tried to end up with, we all started off with distilled water. The numbers that I went with off of brewing water based on what some of the other guys in the community were going with, ended up with a calcium number of 60. Sulfate we were aiming for 59, and chloride was 64, so that to keep that kind of 1-to-1 ratio there. pH target we all aimed for was 5.3, so that's right around where I ended up. We were trying to go for a 1066 beer. I ended up at 1065. For hops, we did a half ounce of Centennial at 45, 3/4 ounce of Centennial at 30, and then we did 2 ounces of Citra in the Whirlpool, and then we dry hopped with 2 ounces of Simcoe. After a 3-day cold crash, with being the final day of having the dry hop being at the last day of the cold crash. So everybody did the same exact thing. So what I decided to start with was the control. Just thought that would be appropriate to kind of see where this whole thing sort of started. This is Mike Dean's Kick-Ass IPA. Has a little bit of a shot of his label. He says, from water chemistry to cold dry hopping, this particular beer kicked my ass. But I'm glad I did it because the result was an awesome beer that tastes, well, kick-ass. This is the Brewtubers 2020 Yeast Experiment, and this version is considered the base as it uses clean Chico yeast from Imperial flagship. So I brought up the website for the flagship. This is the A07 Imperial yeast. And what it says here, that it attenuates 73 to 77%, temperature range of 60 to 72. I don't know necessarily what temperature he did this at. It doesn't say on the label. The flocculation is medium to low. It is commonly referred to as a Chico yeast because it is a craft brewing standard loved for its extremely clean character. This strain is a go-to, highly popular, performs well with standard ale temperatures, but can be used in the low 60s to produce a crisp ale. Flocculation is the middle of the road and will typically require filtration or fining to achieve crystal clear beers. So I thought that would be good to know before we dug into this. And of course, the Dean's List cap on there. So let's see what we got. It's got a nice hiss on it. Oh yeah, that just wants to jump out of that bottle. Probably should go easy on this one. leave the last of that behind. It looks like he probably, well, just knowing what he does, he probably kegged this and then used his bottle one, so I'm sure there's no sediment. Looks pretty clean. It's got a nice head on it. It does look a little fluffy. It does have some tight bubbles, but it also has some bigger bubbles in there. It's kind of interesting. Sorry about the noise in the background. I got the dishwasher going. It is cloudy, but at the bottom of this glass, I can sort of see through it, so it's somewhat opaque. Let me see if I can turn that off. Sorry about that. That was distracting me, so I'm sure it was distracting some of you guys. Yeah, it's got a nice aroma. So we know we have Centennial, Citra, and Simcoe in here. I could definitely smell the Citra. I do use that quite often. It's got a very nice, nice fruity aroma to it. So let's check it out. Cheers. Yeah, that's real nice. So this yeast to me is allowing the hops to shine through for what they are. So I'm definitely picking up on that Centennial and the Citra. Oh, sorry about that. Let's see if we can get through this video. I tell you, this is why I stopped doing it inside, because many distractions from the animals or kids or whatnot. So the carbonation level is pretty good on this. Yeah, it's real nice. That's a nice yeast to use on this. To me, my interpretation of this is it's allowing those hops to really shine through. I tried putting her in a room, but she just trying to scratch her way out of there. Yeah, I really like this. This is nice. See, the yeast that I used, and like I said, this is the only thing I can compare off of this time. My yeast is giving more of a tropical headline to the beer. For me, it was giving pineapple and mango up front. And you can definitely tell, some of the hop character in there, but to me, it was masking a little bit. This one, you get those hops straight through, which is cool. But let's see here. So this is why I brought out my tablet, because I wanted to look at the scoring sheet as well. So obviously, I can't score it with an overall rating. He's just looking for the scoring sheet on these is very simple. The yeast that you reviewed, the person that's reviewing it, give it an overall rating 1 through 13, and then just overall thoughts on the beer, the best yeast beer combo. And for this one, I'm just going to go out with the summary of just saying that this thing is allowing the hops to really shine through in this West Coast IPA style. So this would be really interesting if we kind of tilted the water profile slightly. If we tilted it more towards the sulfate to chloride ratio side of things, then it would really bring through more of that that hop presence, even more so than it already is. So this is cool. I think if I were to brew this again, this is definitely a yeast that I would hold in the ranking for which yeast I'm going to use. I'm definitely brewing this recipe again, and I really like the yeast that I had, but I wanted to see what everything else was like first before I made a decision on which yeast I'm going to use. This one is a solid contender. This is a really good yeast from Imperial Yeast, their flagship A07, the Chico. So that's it for this one. I'll see you guys on the next one. Cheers. Hey guys, Matt here at Rec Brewery. I'm going to do another yeast experiment review. Quiet time in the Mars residence is at a premium these days. We have lots of guests over pretty regularly. So this one we're going to do today, this is the Brewtubers Cooper Brewing Company put this together. This is the Imperial A24 dry hop yeast. OG was 1066, FG was 1023. Finished kind of high. Let's see here, 5.6 ABV. It was brewed on 2.7 and it was kegged on 2.16. So, like I'm going to do with all of these, I think, just read a little bit about the yeast first so we know what we're getting into. So the Imperial A24 dry hop is a blend of two highly popular yeast strains well suited for hop-forward beers. It's a blend of the A20 Citrus and the A04 Barbarian. When this blend goes to work on a hoppy beer, the hop Rohne will blow up. A combination of these strains produces amazing aromas of citrus, peach, and apricot that will accentuate your IPA, pale ale, or any other hop-driven beer. And it says here that it ferments between 64 and 74. Flocculation medium, attenuation 74 to 78%. Alcohol tolerance is 10%. So, that being said, let's go ahead and get into her. Hey, got a good hiss on that. Looks like a Sam Adams glass. Look, I can see on the etching on the side there. Oh yeah, that's a beautiful beer. So far with all these, they haven't been totally clear, and that's fine. I'm not judging. It's fairly clear. It's a little bit cloudy. That could be anything. It just could be the yeast. That's just how they are. It could just be that it just isn't going to fully clear out. We were all very stringent on our process, so we had to do all the same thing. No one was allowed to use fining agents or anything like that were going to really clear this thing out. No gelatin and things like that. So you get what you get, and that's okay. This is a nice looking beer, nice golden color. They all should generally look the same, I would imagine. It's got a nice pillowy head on that. Got really good carbonation, nice upside down snow stream or a blizzard effect sort of thing going on in there. Yeah, you can definitely smell the hops in this one. Very nice. A lot of citrus notes on that. Yeah, I am definitely picking up a little bit what that yeast is talking about. I am picking up a little bit of the peach. There's been that type of aroma on it. So let's see what we have here. Cheers. Okay. And so far I can only compare to the ones I've done so far. So if I'm going to do these in order, hopefully I'll put the videos in order. This one is also very much allowing the hops to shine through on this one. I think that the peach, the apricot that they're talking about in the aroma, I'm getting maybe a hint of that in the taste as well. It's not, it's barely there though. This thing is very similar to Mike Dean's beer, in my opinion. And he had the Chico yeast, the one that just was a very nice clean character to it, or nice clean effect on the beer. This is similar. It's a little bit more toned down. I think that Imperial Chico yeast, that one was very hop forward. The hops really fully shined. This one, the hops are a bit subdued slightly, and you're getting a little bit more of that yeast character out of this. Definitely getting more out of the aroma as well, especially now that it's had a chance to just kind of warm up a little bit here in the glass and just kind of hang out. Very aromatic. I'm definitely getting some of that peach and that the apricot now, more so than at first. And definitely some citrus kind of notes. Maybe a little bit of sort of like lemon. Maybe a tad orange as well. I like it. It's very nice. This is a good yeast to have this West Coast IPA really do its justice without being too powerful. It hasn't really hasn't changed a whole lot about the beer, which is really nice. I like that. Some nice subtle hints of a difference to this one. And having those extra citrus notes and having those extra peach and apricot aromas to it as well. Very cool. So there you go. That's the A24 dry hop from Imperial. So see you guys on the next one. Cheers. This one's from Andrwe Rohne. I'm not sure how to pronounce your last name, so I apologize. He did this with the Imperial A20 citrus yeast. He says the OG 1066 are on the money. FG on this was the 1015, so a little bit lower. 6.9% ABV. It was brewed on the 19th of February and kegged on the 26th, so a week turnaround on that. And it looks like he bottled it on the 28th, so right at the end of the month. So pretty fresh. And I pulled it up here on my tablet. So the Imperial yeast, the A20 citrus. This one says that it cranks out orange and lemon aromas along with some tropical fruit. It says use this strain at high temps for big ester production. It says it will get a bit funky without the worries of the Brett strain. Keep an eye on your fermentation because it does like to hit a false terminal and then slowly finish out the rest of fermentation. That's quite interesting. It's supposed to produce a high citrus fruit ester profile. The fermenting temperatures on this one are 67 to 80 degrees. Attenuation is the same, 74 to 78. Flocculation is low, and the alcohol tolerance again on this is 10%. So let's see what this is all about. Let's go ahead and pop this open. Got a nice yellow cap on there. That fits the citrus and the lemon that it talks about. Nice hiss. Get it into my glass. I might have to go slower in this one. Oh yeah. Can't complain about that. That looks nice. This one has a little bit more of an orange tint to it. They're all similar in color, but this one's a little bit more orange in color. Quite interesting. Very carbonated. Looks appropriate. You know, it's got a nice stream going on in there. This one has a little bit more tighter bubbles on the top, so I don't think this head's going to go anywhere anytime soon. And man, look at that. That's just hanging onto the glass. That's a beautiful beer, Andrew. Very nice. You know, it could just be the foam that's there, but I'm not getting as much of aroma off this one than I did off the other. You get a little bit, maybe a little bit of that lemon, but it's faint. Maybe I'll get it after some time of it being out and opening, or being out and warming up in the glass a little bit. It's a very clean smell to this. You do get some faint notes of some lemon, some orange, but it's very faint. It's very clean smelling beer, very nice. So let's take a taste. Cheers. Oh yeah, yeah. So this one is more lemon in the taste. That's pretty cool. I like that. Yeah, you definitely get more of that lemon now. Now that I've taken a sip and I can kind of pair the two, I definitely get a little bit more out of the aroma. But yeah, it's not like a it's not like an overpowering lemon. Like it's not like pine sol or anything like that. Nothing silly. It's just a very nice. It's a very nice faint lemon aroma to it. And the taste follows it. That's pretty good. It's got a nice. You don't pick up on some of the other hops that we've put into this. So this is definitely more. So if you like a lemony beer, this will give it some of that too there. But it looks like not too much. That's nice. You'd have to be careful, I would think, with something like this when the hops that you choose, because if you choose, what is that? Sriracha Ace, I think is one of them. That Motueka, I think is another one that has sort of like a lemony taste to it. Lemon drop, of course. I might be careful using those type of hops with this yeast. It might be too lemony, but this is nice. It's a nice sort of blanket over the recipe that we have here. Yeah, definitely more lemon. So if you like lemon, this is the one for you. It's good. I really enjoyed that. Nice job, man. This is a good one. So, and man, Gary, this is a great recipe. The Brewtubers have put together. a great recipe to showcase to test all these, or showcase and test out all these yeasts. So it's quite nice. So we'll see you guys in the next review. Cheers. Hey guys, Matt here, at the Brewery. We're going to do another Brewtubers 2020 yeast experiment review. This one is one of the canned ones. This is from the Woodshed Brewing Company. Yeasty Boys 2020 yeast experiment. Dennis Pynn. He used the Bootleg Biology Brulosophy blend. That's a mouthful. 64 degrees for 7 days before crashing. Looks like he brewed it on the 1st of February, kegged it on the 14th, and canned it on the 23rd. OG 1062, final gravity 1015, and it came out to a 6.2% beer. So, very cool label, nice canning work on this. Show that off a little bit for you guys. Yeah, very nice. Very cool. A lot of you guys are canning. Definitely something that interests me. I don't know if I'll ever get into that, but let's see what we got. And this is a bigger can, so I grabbed my bigger glass just in case. Or one of my bigger glasses. I got a few of these. All right. Looks nice. Very, very nice. Yeah, this one's probably this one's a little bit darker than the ones that I've reviewed so far. It's actually pretty clear. This glassware doesn't really show that off very well, unfortunately, but and the lighting in here is not the greatest. But it is like an orange hue. That's pretty neat. It's not crystal clear, but it's very clear. I can see my fingers right through that. Looks like it's got decent carbonation. I see some bubbles streaming along the side of the glass. Got some nice small bubbles here on the top. And a nice frothy-like type head on it. Before we get into this, I want to explain the yeast, as I've been doing with all of these. I think that's appropriate. Just so we know what we're getting into. All right, so the Brulosophy blend. Okay, this one is it's a unique blend of Saccharomyces, hopefully I pronounced that right, cultures created in collaboration with Brulosophy. Bootleg Biology is proud to announce this first official Brulosophy blend. It's an all-purpose clean yeast culture meant to make almost any beer style. The most common flavor descriptor used for beers made with this blend are clean, lager-like cracker in the malt, and fruity from the hops. The yeast blend does not produce phenols, so it is not recommended for solely fermenting phenolic beers like saisons, wits, or hefeweizens. Well, this is none of those. This is a West Coast IPA. So let's see what we got. Yeah, I think with this one, I'm definitely picking up more of like a malty character. Not as much from the hops as I have with the others so far. Interestingly enough, I smell like apples, maybe. Trying to think what else. It does kind of smell like apples. It's interesting. And I'm getting a little bit of the hop character in this. You know, I can definitely smell a little bit of the hops, but it's not first. First for me is it's like an apple cidery apple juice, maybe kind of a smell to it. Very, very interesting. But it smells great though. I mean, it's a great looking beer too. So let's give it a taste. Cheers. Yeah, the taste definitely follows a little bit. It's a subdued appley taste to it. That's quite interesting. I can also see what they're talking about with the graham crackery. That does taste a little bit crackery too. The hops are there. It's a very nice, well balanced more balanced beer than some of the others that I've tried so far. So I'm definitely getting some hop character there from the hops that we've used, but I'm also getting, you know, the graham crackery, some of the malt character out of this too. Yeah, that apple taste kind of faded away now. But that's what I got first. So it was quite interesting. It wasn't real strong. It was just noticeable. Yeah, most common descriptors are a clean lager-like cracker malt from the malt and fruity from the hops. Descriptors from the flavor. Yeah, I can definitely see that. That's really, really cool. I'll probably say this throughout all my videos, but it's really cool to see what yeast will do to a beer. I mean, it definitely changes it. You know, you take the same recipe, which is what we all had. We all had some pretty close numbers. We all had some pretty close information when we were sharing, and it's really interesting to see what the yeast does to a beer. It can really change it. Hasn't been a bad one yet. I mean, these are all good deals. I mean, you know, I know in our scoring we're supposed to rate these from 1 to 13. 1 being something I wouldn't drink, and 13 being the best that I've ever had out of all the yeast choices. But I don't know, man. It's gonna be hard to grade them. Yeah, these are all pretty close, and they're. It's not that necessarily any of them are bad. It's just that some of them are, you know, they're all different in their own way. You know, it just comes down to preference. I think at that point, you know, what do you want to get out of your beer? What are you trying to go for? But yeah, look at that. Nice lacing on there. Carbonation sticks around. Head's still sticking around for the most part. It's very thin, but it's still there halfway through this beer. So great job, Dennis. I appreciate this. And see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody. Cheers.